avoiding onion and garlic and gluten and dairy, and I can't have this type of food on Mondays because that seems to give me a random flare-up, whereas when I have it on a Wednesday, it's totally fine. It's exhausting. Have you heard of the stomach pain loop of doom? Let me tell you about it. This is the bad cycle that we all get stuck in when we are flaring up or having a rough stomach day. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm having stomach pain or in the middle of a flare-up or something like that, the last thing I feel like eating is something healthy. So it's really common when you're in the middle of a flare-up to reach for comfort foods, right? Something that just at least will make your brain happy, Things like processed foods, burgers, fatty foods, maybe French fries, crisps, crackers, potato chips, that kind of stuff. Sodas also are things that I always feel like I want when I'm in the middle of a flare-up. And this is why I call it the loop of doom, because yes, that's what you want to eat when you're in the middle of a flare-up, but it's not going to do anything to help your stomach issues. It might get you through emotionally to support you through the flare-up, but it's not going to solve any issues. And the reality is that in order to fix your IBS, in order to improve your symptoms, you have to help your body, support your body to regain strength kind of from the inside out. And that means eating healthy foods, even if it can be really tricky to do that when you have IBS. And let me know if this is something that you're struggling with. I know that a lot of people kind of feel like healthy foods make their symptoms worse than junk food. So then you end up constantly being in this loop of doom because you're reaching for the junk foods, which are not doing anything to support your overall health, which is then increasing your IBS or gut issues. So this is why it's really important to understand how IBS works and how gut issues work and why they happen and what you can do to reduce your symptoms and improve your overall health. Because at the end of the day, the healthier you are, the less symptoms you're going to have. And here's why it's so confusing, because if you feel like healthy foods make you flare up more and unhealthy foods feel better when you're in a flare up, obviously you're going to want to keep eating them because it feels better. But the problem with this is that in order to fix the underlying issues of your IBS, you have to look deeper. You have to look at what is causing it in the first place, right? And fix that and not just put a band-aid on the symptoms. So think of it like this. If you are someone who drinks a lot of coffee, I love my coffee, so no judgment. We've all been there at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the workday. You feel super tired. You still have work to do, but you're just falling asleep at your desk. So you have another coffee, then you get a boost, and then you can finish your workday, which is great because you stayed awake, but it didn't do anything to fix the underlying cause of your tiredness, right? You're still equally sleep deprived. It's just that you're using this temporary band-aid, the coffee, to solve a problem temporarily. The coffee is just a band-aid, right? It's just a drug so that you can get through the workday with your lack of sleep instead of solving the underlying issue. So if you want to be less tired, obviously you have to rest more, you have to sleep more, you have to find a way to sleep better. And if this is something that you're having issues with, I have a whole separate video on this, so make sure to check that out. But in order to fix the underlying issue of your tiredness, obviously you have to look at what is causing that. Is it too much stress in your life? Is it gut issues keeping you awake and having flare-ups in the middle of the night so you can't sleep? Is it stress? Is it issues with your kids? Is it life? Is it trauma? Is it what is it? It can be a lot of things, obviously, and it takes time to kind of get to the bottom of what it is. But the coffee is not solving your trauma. The coffee is not solving the underlying issues for why you're tired, right? And it's the same thing with your gut issues. So junk food may give you like a temporary fix, but it's not solving anything, right? If anything, it's making it worse because it's just putting a band-aid on something bigger, something that's underneath that you're not dealing with, right? And this is why it's so important to get to the bottom of what it is that's really behind your IBS. Because here's the thing, I see people asking all the time this question: what do you do when you're in the middle of a flare-up? How do you fix it, right? How do you survive a flare-up? And there are a lot of ways that you can do that, and obviously you have to find the way that you feel works best for you just to survive that and get through it. But what we really need to look at is how to avoid getting there in the first place. Because the thing is, you don't want to have to spend the rest of your life avoiding onion and garlic and gluten and dairy and blah 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 and all of the things and chili and I can't have spicy food and I can't have this and I can't have that and I can't have this type of food on Mondays because that seems to give me a random flare-up, whereas when I have it on a Wednesday it's totally fine. Like, you don't want to have to live your life like that. It's exhausting and it's super confusing both for yourself and for others. So this is why we want to get to the bottom of what it is. Why do you have IBS? Why do you have gut issues? Where is it coming from? What's the underlying reason? Because it may have showed up from, seemingly out of nowhere, but it's not random. There are very good reasons for why it's there. It's your body trying to tell you something about something deeper that's underneath that we need to look at. So I hope this makes sense. I think obviously this is kind of like a reversed way of looking at it, because a lot of IBS management is about kind of managing symptoms and trying to avoid flare-ups. But I believe that the best way to avoid flare-ups is to kind of get to the bottom of why they're happening in the first place. So we really need to start looking below the surface and kind of like at a deeper level on why this is happening and what it is in your life and your health and your background or your history that is creating this. And get out of the loop of doom. Make sure that you're fueling your body with healthy foods that can help it rebuild and strengthen from the inside out. Because if you feed yourself crap, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to keep getting crap back. And we don't want that. So make sure to start eating more healthy, eating more greens. For me, when I started fueling myself with healthier foods, it turned my entire life around, because I was in a very, very bad place with my gut issues, and I was like that for a really long time, not able to find any help with it. And when I started eating more plants, more healthy foods, fueling myself with actual nutrients that my body could use to recover and rebuild from the inside out, like, it was night and day for me. And there are a lot of ways that you can do this. If you feel skeptical about introducing more plants, I know that a lot of my clients have felt like nervous about it, especially fruits and things like that, because we're told we're not supposed to eat fruits. No tropical fruits, especially, it's too much sugar and blah, blah, blah. I was also told that, and I decided to do the opposite because I had tried everything else and nothing was working. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to double down, eat all the fruits, eat all the plants. And it was a little bit uncomfortable for a while in the way that I did it. So I have tips now on how you can do it to avoid that discomfort. I went all in, and that's not necessarily something I recommend for my clients, because I know that a lot of people are nervous to introduce more plants and more greens, and a lot of people are having issues with flare-ups with greens and stuff like that. But there are ways that you can do it so that you introduce it slowly in a way that is going to be supportive for you and not too overwhelming for your gut. I really understand how difficult it can be and scary it can be to start introducing more things, and especially when you're dealing with IBS or other gut issues. But it definitely makes such a huge difference when you start fueling your body with things that it can use to get stronger and deal with all of the things that you're going through health-wise. Introducing high amounts of fruits and high amounts of plant foods and greens into my diet has like completely twisted things upside down for me and made such incredible improvements on my health. So if you want me to make more videos about this topic, if you're interested to know more about how you can introduce more plants and healthy foods into your diet in a safe way, comment plants below. But for now, I just want to encourage you to also, look a little bit further, look a little bit deeper than just surviving from one flare-up to the next, because there are really so many things that you can do to take back control of your health and improve your gut issues and learn how to manage this better, and not just in a way of like surviving from one flare-up to the next, but also like actually improving your life quality, your health. And understanding more what it is that is causing this for you so that it's easier to avoid it, right? So I hope that's helpful. I will see you in the next video, and make sure to give a thumbs up if you like this.